Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by BAMMA Heavyweight Maurice Jackson. Maurice, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, everybody?
We're doing great, and we're doing even better now that you're here, so let's get into it, Maurice. The name of the game is Really Random. That's where I ask you a random question, and you give me the real answer. Some of these questions are custom-made just for you, and some of these questions are generic ones that I ask all the people I interview. So, here's the first question. Superpower you'd love to have?
To be able to teleport.
Favorite movie?
Into the Dragon with Bruce Lee.
Favorite color?
Red.
Maurice, you have a fight coming up. A main event title fight taking place on September 15th at BAMMA 31. How's training been going for the fight?
Training's been going great. This is actually, I would say, the best training camp I've ever had, just because of everything that this fight means to me. I feel like right now this is the most important fight in my career, and it'll be able to open up a lot of doors for, me and my, family, financially, so I'm just very, very happy, very focused, and I can't wait till they lock that cage, so yeah, I'm really pretty pumped up.
Maurice, the last time I heard about you, you were living in Utah, but doing your training camps in Las Vegas. Now you're living full-time and training full-time in Utah at Fusion MMA. Why did you decide to not go back to Las Vegas and just do all your training in Utah?
I actually stopped just because I was just getting so unfocused, you know what I mean? Just Vegas, I lived in Vegas for 10, 11 years, so it's pretty much like my second home, so it's just any and everything you want is like a phone call away. If you want to go hang out at 5 o'clock in the morning, there's a ton of spots you can go. You want to get up and get a nice steak dinner and sushi at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's just, it's not good for a fighter. It kind of spoils you being there,
Mm-hmm. You're fighting Chai Lewis Perry, who, like you, is a very big man. You're both 6'9". Now, in Vegas, it's very easy for you to find big heavyweights to train with because Las Vegas is the fight capital of the world, and there's so many fight gyms in that city. Now that you're training in Utah, have you been able to find big bodies to work out with? And if so, who are some of the guys helping you get ready for this fight?
I have my buddy, his name's Matthew Arrington. He's about 6'6". He's an amazing Muay Thai fighter. Also have my buddy Jarrett. He's a Division I NCAA national champion. So just pretty much those two guys. And I have an amazing boxing coach named Carlos. He fought, what's that guy's name? He was a professional fighter, and he's from Mexico. He's a really good coach, and what I love about working with him for the longest time, I kind of feel like I wasn't learning nothing. And my first training session with him, just him holding mitts, I learned a lot. So I'm just I am very, very, very happy as far as how much knowledge I'm getting, because I felt like as far as striking, I felt like I couldn't learn very much more. And then also with my wrestling coach, we've been working on a ton of wrestling, and with Matt, we've just pretty much slowed things down a lot so that way I can just learn how to react, see things coming, control my pace of fighting, you know what I mean, so that way I can pace myself throughout the fight. So my whole training camp, I think, has been great, and it's been benefiting me in a ton of different ways.
You haven't fought under MMA rules in over a year. Chai Lewis Perry, he hasn't fought under MMA rules in over 3 years. His main sport is kickboxing, and you have a lot of experience in that sport. So a lot of people thought if this fight was going to take place, it would be under kickboxing rules. But here you are getting ready to main event BAMMA 31 under MMA rules. So how did this fight all come together?
Well, to be honest with you, don't get me wrong, how can I say, I am a big kickboxing fan, and I started with kickboxing at 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And I mean, just doing something so much, eventually you just get burnt out of it mentally. Whenever MMA, finally, blew up, I was like, I loved it because there was just so many different things you can do. It's called mixed martial arts. There's so much knowledge you can learn. There's like, me learning judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, all these other things just made it like a lot more interested to me than the MMA. I'm actually a lot more happy that it's an MMA fight because I just feel like, for one, there's not a lot of money left in kickboxing. But in MMA, I just feel like how can I say untouchable. I mean, I don't. They just wanted two young, good looking, in shape, heavyweights, two talented guys. And Shy, he's definitely very talented.
I've wanted to see this fight for a really long time because we almost got this fight back in May of 2015 in that Glory 21 heavyweight qualification tournament. Had you beaten Xavier Vigny, you would have met Chai Lewis Perry in the finals of that tournament. So I wanted to see this fight.
Yeah, Glory, man. It was kind of funny because we were both. We doubted the Xavier Vigny. We doubted him so much. We were at weigh-ins making fun of this guy, telling him how bad he sucks. And I guess Jesus was like in a locker room with him or something because nobody saw him beating either one of us that night.
Right.
So me and Shy, our locker rooms were right next to each other. There was like a curtain separating me and Shy. And before I walked off my fight, he was like, "Hey, brother, I'll see you in the finals." I was like, "All right, man, I'll see you in the finals." So yeah, it was
I was surprised when this fight was announced because I thought you guys were friends because if you remember at the Glory 21 weigh-ins when Chai Lewis Perry and Xavier Vigny got in each other's faces and they had that little scuffle at the weigh-ins, it was you who was holding back Chai Lewis Perry. Now here you are getting ready to fight him. I thought you guys were friends. You have the same manager. I know that you could have fought him in the past, but that was a little bit different because that was in a tournament. Now this is, that you're fighting him for sure on September 15th. So is there bad blood between you and Chai Lewis Perry? Did you guys have a falling out, or is it just business and this is a fight that people want to see and it's a fight that makes sense and it's for a title and you guys just have to do what you got to do to make a living and provide for your families, and it's just nothing more than business? How are things right now between you and Chai Lewis Perry?
Oh, me and Chai, we're amazing friends, man. He's a great dad, great husband, really good person all around, man. And he like I said, he's a really good friend of mine. But at the same time, it's business,
Right.
Like, I mean, he has bills, I have bills, you know what I'm saying? We both have, priorities and everything, So it's like at the same time, we're great friends, but, we have to take care of our family. And I mean, if, I doubt whoever loses the fight, of course they're going to be upset because to a big opportunity like that, how many guys get a chance to fight for the heavyweight belt? Not a lot, So I mean, we'll be disappointed at the opportunity, but after the fight, I'm pretty sure whoever loses go up to each other, give him a big hug. Hey man, I'm proud of you, man. Keep doing your thing, and so that's it. It's all business. But like I said, after the fight, man, I'm gonna still be on good terms, but we're just gonna have to hate each other for 25 minutes.
In the build-up for this fight, he's been calling you Maurice Jackson in some of the promo videos I've seen. Now, since you guys are friends, what do you make of his trash talk?
My younger brother, he showed it to me.
Yeah.
And I died laughing. And I hit up Shy on Instagram. I was like, "Hey, brother, that was funny as hell. I laughed my ass off." And he goes, "Come on, man. I got to keep up the chuckles. I got to keep everybody laughing. I hope you're doing very well." So, man, yeah, it's all a business, man. And like I said, he's a very impressive fighter. He markets himself very well. I'm just excited for this opportunity because I know how much of a difference this is going to make, in both of our lives,
Chai Lewis Perry talks a great game. I love some of the things he says. I find him very entertaining. But you also talk a great game. Some of your trash talk, especially for that fight that you had in Italy for Super Combat, some of your trash talk leading up to that fight was great. Some of the lines that you were saying were amazing. So, because Chai Lewis Perry has been calling you Maurice Jackson, are you gonna respond in any way? Are we gonna see that Maurice Jackson who we saw in the build-up to that fight for Super Combat? Is that guy gonna come back out and we're gonna see some more great material from you?
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, that was actually my first time, how can I say, being able to talk trash, just because I felt like, how can I say, my opponents weren't even worth me talking trash. And even for the fight in Italy, they were like, Maurice, please make a video saying something, about cattle Marantu. And so I did. It turned out pretty good. It was funny. But yeah, like I said, man, he's a great trash talker, and he said some hilarious stuff. So I mean, I can't wait to get to the press conference. I got a couple of things on my mind that I want to say, and I'm pretty sure he has a lot of funny things that he has. So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting fight, a hilarious press conference, and yeah. So
when this fight between you and Chai Lewis Perry was signed and announced to the public, BAMMA put out a press release, and in that press release, they had you quoted, and I'm going to read that quote right now. In that quote, you said, "On September 15th, I'm going to show the world who the best fighter on the planet is. Me versus Chai is going to be like a seasoned pro versus a decent amateur. It's going to be like a father playing around with his son."
You were good, kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?
Why do you believe this quote? Why do you believe the fight will go down that way?
Well, this is the thing. My MMA career, and a lot of people don't know this except the people that I've trained with a ton in Vegas. Because, like I said, I was there for about 10, 11 years. There's been times, I'm not going to say no names, but it's been a time. A lot of really top heavyweights, guys that have had the belt, like in the UFC, Pride, professional boxers that have had title fights would call me up for sparring, and I would tune these guys up, you know what I mean? And everybody in Vegas knows how good I am, and some of the top fighters in the world, I'm still friends with these guys, and they see me and they go, "Damn, man, you're not champ yet?" So I mean, a lot of people know how good I am, but a lot of people, just think, "Oh, he's a good fighter," But I know how good I am, and I know for this fight, I'm going to be. You will see 100% of Maurice Jackson, and I just know what I'm capable of. Pretty much, I know what I'm capable of, and I know what's going to happen in the fight. Like I said, I think Shai, he's an amazing athlete. He played professional basketball. His body, he looks like a freaking statue, like a Greek statue, like somebody chiseled him.
Right.
He has some good punching power, but I just think, how can I say, I was like born to do this. I'm just like, I've freaking been a brown belt in jits for like 3 years, on my way to get my black belt. Kickboxing, my kickboxing record, I have 31 wins, 1 loss, 23 knockouts. I just feel like I'm like the total package, and I don't see anybody beat me when I'm at my best. That's why I really feel like I'm the best fighter in the world, and September 15th, I'm going to prove that to everybody. Like, I'm really going to prove it. It's not going to be too much of a fight. Like, I mean, no, it's not going to be too much of a fight, and that's no disrespect at all to Shai. Like I said, Shai, he's a good dude, really good friend of mine, great family man, but I just know what I'm capable of,
I think it's really disappointing that so many people out there don't know how good you really are. Because, in my opinion, the biggest win of your MMA career was a fight back in May of 2011 against Chase Gormley. Yes, Chase Gormley, who fought in the UFC. He currently fights in Bellator. He was the former Titan FC heavyweight champion before he signed with Bellator. So, he's a very good fighter. You fought him, and You worked him. You completely destroyed him in that fight, but not a lot of people have seen this fight. And on top of that, the fight was originally a TKO victory for you that was later overturned to a no contest, and that's why, if you look at your record, this doesn't appear as a win. But I've seen the fight, and I saw what I saw, and you looked amazing in that fight. And if you showed up and fought like that every time, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now because people would know how good you are. So my question to you is, how much of your potential have you tapped into? How much of your abilities have we seen you display in the cage? On a scale from 1 to 10, how much have you given to us? 4 out of 10? 5 out of 10? Higher? Lower? How much have we seen of your potential?
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe like a 3.5 or 4. There are just so many different things I can do. You know, once I'm comfortable, and I mean, coming to this fight, I'm going to be 100% comfortable, and yeah, I'm just, how can I say, like for I mean, you got to think about some of my training partners have been like the best guys in the world, and I mean, like for instance, okay, when I lived in Vegas, I would train jiu-jitsu every day with Radich. Now, with that being said, I am nowhere near as good as Robert Drysdale on the ground. Like, I probably will never, ever be nowhere near as good as him on the ground. But I'm saying, you're getting your ass kicked by somebody like that, you know, like, then if you train with somebody like that every day, you're getting your ass kicked, and you're constantly learning, there's nobody else in the MMA world that, you know, would give me a run for my money on the ground, probably except Fabricio Verdum or somebody like that. As far as striking, you know, I've struck with guys, let's say, Maurice Smith, Mighty Mo, who was a K1 heavyweight world champion. I'm just like the best from every sport I've trained with, and I've held my own, and you know, so I don't think I've shown anybody like everything I can do yet. Like, I have so many things I can do. Like, a lot of people don't know I can freaking wrestle. Like, a lot of people don't know my older brother is Kevin Randleman. A lot of people don't know that, but we have different last names. A lot of people don't know that. So he's been teaching me how to wrestle since I was like a freaking kid. So it's just a lot of little things like that, you know what I mean? And yeah, so, and like my dad, he was supposed to go to the Olympics for boxing. I think he lost like in like the trial or something like that. So I mean, I've been training since I was like 5 or 6 years old. You know, I just have so much I feel like I can bring to the table and just show everybody. But like I said, September 15th, everybody's going to see, but I really doubt the fight is going to last that long just because the kind of shape I'm in, you know what I mean? Like, I've been really, I don't want to say what kind of training methods I've been doing because I don't want other fighters copying what I've been doing and some young dude come kick my butt one day. But after I'm done fighting, I will make sure I write a book and put all of my training methods in there, though. But yeah, I'm like really pumped up for this fight and just excited to show everybody in the world what I can do, you know?
Off the top of my head, I don't recall you ever owning a title or fighting for a title during your career. Am I right? Is this the first title fight you've been in? Is this the first time you're fighting for a belt?
That's the thing. I've never fought for a belt before. Like whenever I was fighting for K1, I had the opportunity. I was about to. They were going to give me an opportunity to go overseas and fight in Japan for the K1 in the Grand Prix. But that was around the time when, you know, K1 ended, had money problems and like all that stuff. But this is actually like my first time fighting for a belt. So, you know, I'm just very happy and blessed and fortunate for this opportunity. And it's, like I said, it's going to open up a lot of doors. And I think this is the start of everything I've wanted. And I feel like ever since I've been a child, I feel like God has been, you know, molding me for this moment.
In 2005, you started fighting pro MMA, but since then you've only had 8 MMA fights. Now that's a little bit misleading because you've had over 30 kickboxing matches during your career, so you've been splitting time between both sports, and you've had a lot of fights canceled over the years. whether it's you getting injured, your opponents getting injured, the shows being canceled, whatever the reason is. I'm sure there's 1,000 reasons on why these fights haven't taken place. The point is, these fights have never happened. But I'm interested in knowing, because you haven't fought in over a year, why haven't you fought in over a year? Why the year layoff?
I just was in a bad place mentally. So this past year that I took off of fighting kind of helped me really get back, just get my mental stability back. Because, you know, as everybody knows, fighting is a very mentally demanding sport, you know. And fighting is 100% mental. So, yeah, I just, you know, took this last year off to just get back in a good place mentally.
What's more surprising, you fighting Chai Lewis Perry, someone who's a friend of yours, or you fighting for a belt coming off a year layoff and a loss? What's more surprising to you?
Fighting for the belt. It was funny. Whenever I wanted to start back fighting, I would get up every morning, I would pray, and I would ask God, you know, I said, please just bless me with a fight, God, bless me with a fight. And I was like, I know it's not going to be nothing big like a title fight. Well, I'm going to work my way up and everything like that. And I get a call from my manager, like, hey, dude, you want a title fight against Shy? I was like, sure, bro. And I just got on my knees right away and just, you know, thank God or whatever, you know. So not a lot of people get that opportunity to fight for a heavyweight belt. And I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, if you like lightweight champion, middleweight champion, it's cool. But heavyweight, you're like the king. Heavyweight champ is like the king of the world. And plus, you know, just having that tag on you, you know what I mean? It's sort of like a thing where it's going to open up a lot of doors for me and my family, you know, financially. And just, I mean, since I was a kid, it's been a dream of mine to be heavyweight champ. I remember, I think I was 7 years old, and I was watching Mike Tyson fight against Michael Spinks on TV, and he had, I want to say, two belts at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was just seeing how people just responded to him, just how aggressive and intimidating he looked in the ring, and I was like, man, I want to be that one day. So finally, you know, like my dreams are coming true. So I'm just, you know, very, very, very excited for this opportunity. Like I said, I just feel like it's going to open up a lot of doors for me for the rest of my fighting career, even after my fighting career. And after I win the belt September 15th, I plan on keeping it forever, you know. I don't plan on losing ever again. But I'm really happy about this opportunity, you know, and I'm just glad I'm back where I need to be.
A lot of people are expecting this fight to be over in the first round. No one is expecting this fight to go the distance. A lot of people believe that this fight won't go to the ground and you guys are going to meet in the center of the cage and this is going to be a kickboxing match in a cage with 4-ounce gloves. A lot of people are expecting someone to get knocked out and inside of one round. When you envision this fight, how do you see this fight playing out?
Well, it depends on what happens, because, I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, I don't know how Shy's training is going or what he's working on in his camp, but I look at it like I'm an MMA fighter, and I know things can go wrong in a fight. So let's say if the fight starts off, I come out, let's say he catches me with a punch or something and it rocks me, I'm going to take his ass down, hold him down, try to ground and pound him and submit him or get him out of there. So it just really, it depends on what happens in the fight. But I'm with everybody else. I really doubt this fight is going to get out of the first round. I don't think the fight will go past more than like a minute 20 of the first round. I should probably knock him out like that early. So,
since you guys are friends and have trained together in the past, what do you think his camp is telling him to do against you in this fight?
Oh, well, okay, they're probably telling him, attack his, blast him with leg kicks or something like that. Mm-hmm. He can't take leg kicks from a Glory fight. And they'll probably tell him that, but I look at it like, you know, that Glory fight, that guy that beat me and him both, Xavier Bidgeny, I'm not going to talk bad about him, but that was like straight luck. I mean, you seen when the fight started off, every time I flinched at him and threw a kick, he would like fly back, and he closed his eyes and threw like the hardest leg kick in the world, and it broke a bone in my knee. It broke my fibula head. and after that, my left leg went numb. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they're probably telling them that, but I mean, of course, I mean, I think it would be stupid for them to tell them that because they don't realize that fighters get better over training camps. You know what I mean? Like, fighters will change things. So if you're telling your guy, hey, look for this, that'd be stupid because, like, okay, then what if I corrected that and I learn how to check kicks, or I'm just prepared for them more, and then it's not there, and he's not going to know what to do. So they're probably telling him that, and you know, my reach is way longer than his. I have an 84-inch reach, and I think his reach is like 79 or something like that. You know, so I'm pretty sure they're telling him kicks and stuff like that, and you know, that's it. But I'm really not too worried about what he's going to do. I'm just focused on what I'm going to do because I just feel like whenever you get to thinking too much about somebody else, you forget what you're supposed to be in there doing.
This fight's going to be taking place in Chai Lewis Perry's neck of the woods, London. Are you looking forward to going into enemy territory for this fight?
Oh, man, you know what? That's not even... Actually, I love London. It's a beautiful place. People are awesome. Food's amazing. It's a ton of stuff to do. I don't even look at it as enemy territory. I just look at it like a business trip. Like I'm just going over there to handle business. That's it. Going over there, get up every morning, set my alarm clock, get up, train. All I get used to the time. Thursday weigh-ins. Come back to my room, eat, chill out, relax, maybe go for a walk or something. Friday, go out, get a nice breakfast. Go to the freaking locker room, man. When they say, Jackson, you up next, or start warming up, I'm gonna feel like a beast. You know, I don't look at it like enemy territory, not like that. But like I said, I love London, the people, everything. You know, I love it there. So I don't look at it like any enemy territory. It's just a straight business trip for me. For me to go over there, put on a great show for all the fans, get that belt, and bring it back to the U.S. I fly out on the September 11th. I get there on the 12th. We have promo day that Wednesday, Thursday weigh-ins, and Friday it's time to go to work. All I got to do is be focused for 25 minutes. That's it.
This fight is, without a doubt, the biggest fight of your career. A win over Chai Lewis Perry would do a lot of good for your career. Chai Lewis Perry is a quality opponent. A win over him means a lot. The stakes for you in this fight are very high. But on top of that, they're even higher because a loss here would be disastrous for your career. Now, you do have time on your side because you're a heavyweight. Heavyweights tend to last longer in this sport. So potentially you could have 5 to 10 more years in this sport. So time is on your side, but a loss here, we don't know how many more big fight opportunities you're going to get. You have to make this fight count because in the past you've had big fights and you've been on big stages, but a lot of those fights haven't gone your way. So this fight is the biggest fight of your career and also a must-win fight for your career if you want to do the big things that you want to do. And if you want to follow that plan, you've got to get a win here. So how much pressure are you feeling going into this fight?
You know what? The only pressure that I do feel is for me to train my hardest every day. Like a lot of times when I'm at the gym, I'm like, man, I'm freaking exhausted right now. I have no energy left. And I think about the fight and how I control the outcome of the fight in training. And now I'm like, man, you know, just knock this last set out as hard as you can. So I feel pressure every day when I'm in training. But once I get in the locker room and I start warming up, I feel like a beast.
You're back fighting in the big show. BAMMA is the #1 promotion in the UK and one of the largest MMA promotions in the world. They really do have a quality product. They always put on great events, and they've had so many great fighters come in and out of this promotion. So there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this fight. So many people are going to be tuning in to watch you and Chai Lewis Perry fight. And in the past, you've been running hot and cold when you've got to this level. Sometimes you put on a great performance like you did in your Bellator fight, and you won the fight in 52 seconds. But then there's been other times where you haven't performed. The fight that you had in Italy for Super Combat, the fight that you had back in 2015 in Glory, that wasn't your best performance. You've had fights that haven't gone your way. So people have seen you rise to the occasion or fall short. Now that you're getting another opportunity to fight in the big show, what are you looking to prove to those people who have seen you run hot and cold when you've gotten to this level? And what are you looking to showcase to people who will be exposed to you for the first time come September 15th?
I just want to show everybody what I know. I want to make everybody a believer. After this fight, I just want them to go, that guy's one of the best heavyweights I've ever seen in my life. And then my first title defense, they're going to be like, man, this guy is the best heavyweight I've ever seen in my life. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be able to tell too much from like a minute, 20 minutes, 30 seconds of a first round, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I just want to make everybody a believer, and I want everybody to think like me and believe what I believe, that I am the best fighter on the planet.
I'm really looking forward to this fight between you and Chai Lewis Perry, the gorilla versus the chopper.
Sounds like a damn monster movie.
Now, because you're a former basketball player, and CLP, he's a former basketball player, if you guys played one-on-one, who wins and why?
Because look, I've never seen Shai play before, but at the same time, I know what kind of player I was. I mean, in college, I averaged 30 points and 15 rebounds a game, so I'm pretty sure I'll destroy Shai in basketball. If we play up to 11, I'll spot Shai probably about 6 points, and I'll give him the ball. I guarantee you, I'll still beat him. And if he wants to, we can play after the fight. We can play after the fight.
Oh boy. I hope that happens. I hope BAMMA has a camera crew after the fight following you guys around to some court around there and you guys can play. That'd be great. Hobbies outside of fighting?
Netflix. What else? Eating. Going to the movies. I love freaking sushi. Spending time with the kids, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Do you have any pre-fight rituals or superstitions?
I just pray. That's about it. I just like when they go, Jackson, let's go. You up next. Get on my knees, pray real quick, and that's it.
Do you have any post-fight rituals?
After the fight, I go to after parties. That's about it.
What are you eating right now?
Well, one of my sponsors, they're called Twisted Noodles here in St. George, Utah.
Oh.
It's like some cream soup, like with chicken, squash, and cilantro and broccoli. It's freaking amazing. And carrots. It's amazing.
Sounds good. Sounds really good.
No, I wish I had like a double bacon cheeseburger, like a vanilla milkshake.
Right. But for healthy eating, it's not that bad. It sounds pretty good.
But it actually tastes really good. And since I've been eating good, like, you know, I'll have friends, like, they'll like have like a soda or something like that, or like a sandwich. And I'm like, dude, let me get a bite. And you can taste like all like the salt and sugar in it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like whenever you're eating clean, you know. So, but for most part, man, I've been sticking to my diet and eating about 8 to 9 times a day, small portions, and my body's looking lean, ripped. I'm stronger, faster, smarter, everything, you know. But and just mentally, like I said, that's the most important part. I am where I need to be mentally, but I cannot wait until the freaking cage is locked, the crowd is going crazy, and it's time to go. I can't wait. I'm like so pumped up. Like the other night, I couldn't even sleep. I had about 50 dreams about different ways I'm gonna knock them out.
Because you haven't fought in over a year, are you a full-time fighter, or do you work a second job?
Well, this past year, since I said I took the year off, I had to get a job, because whenever you're not working, money goes fast. You know?
Right.
Bills pile up, especially when you're just sitting at home chilling out. So like this past year, I had to get me like a little construction job or whatever. And listen, no disrespect to anybody that goes out there and busts their butt every day, but that was actually a big motivation for me to get back into fighting and get to learn how, other people live, you look at let's say if you got a job you're doing, right? You're getting paid $500, maybe $600 a week. So that's what, $2,400 a month. The owner's making about $300,000 a month. Yeah, I'm dude, I'm sorry, I can't, work for nobody this hard in this kind of heat and go do this kind of labor every day while the boss is at home chilling out, sitting, making $100,000 a week. While I'm making $500-600 a week, I'm making somebody else rich while I got to live week to week. So that was a big motivation for me to get back into what I'm doing. And I was just wow, man, I need to really get back where I need to be mentally, so that way I can provide for my family where I want to.
Besides fighting, what are you passionate about?
Really just about providing for my family. That's it. And God. Providing for my family and God. That's it.
How many tattoos do you have, and what are the meanings behind these tattoos?
I have about, I want to say 18 tattoos, and only I think about 5 or 6 of them mean something. Well, on my right forearm, I got my kids' names, and on my inside of my right forearm, I have a tattoo that says, champions get back up. And on my inside of my biceps, it says, whatever it takes. And also the prayer hands with rosary beads hanging from them, and that just, means in the time of need, you can always get down on your knees and pray, and not just when you're in the time of need, all the time, just to, thank God for everything that He's, done for you, the way He's molded you and everything as well. And on my upper left forearm, I have a tattoo that I remember from my first Bellator fight. They gave me an opponent, and his name was Matt Uday, and I thought this guy was going to be a pushover. And don't get me wrong, I beat him in 52 seconds of the first round.
Right.
So I thought this guy was going to be a pushover. So I kind of had somewhat of a hard time training for the fight. I wasn't too motivated training for the fight. So I was like, man, I need to get me a nice tattoo with a saying, something that I could read just to get me pumped up to train. So I looked in a couple of books, couldn't find anything. So I said, man, I just need to sit down and figure out something that means something to me. So the tattoo, it says depending on the man's faith in himself, work ethic, smarts, and discipline will determine the outcome of him and his family's financial future and happiness in life. And I, read that every day before I train. It gets me ready to go and pumped up. But for this fight, I haven't had to read it not once because, like I said, if you just look at me and Shy, man, you see two freaking beasts, and with the opportunity of a lifetime for both of us to change our families, financial future, you know what I mean, and just open up a lot of doors for us, you know what I mean. So you don't need any kind of motivation for this fight. If you're not motivated for this fight, you shouldn't train. You shouldn't even fight. You shouldn't even call yourself a fighter, because this is going to be a big, humongous fight. It's going to be on TV here in the U.S. It's going to be on TV over there, and I know it's going to get a ton of hits on YouTube and everything. So, I'm just, very happy that I've been blessed with this opportunity,
One more thing about your tattoos, and then we'll move on. Whose lips are tattooed on your chest? What's the story behind that one?
Oh my God! You really did your research, huh? My ex-wife. I need to get that covered. I'm gonna get it covered up with a void sign. No, I'm just joking. I can get a void sign, but I'm gonna get something to cover it up though. So this is what happened. I'm not going to say my buddy's name, okay? So me and my buddy, all right, we used to work together, and we said, hey, dude, the first one to get caught out there, you know what I'm saying? We got to get a tattoo of our wife's name or something like that. So he was the first one to get caught. I was the second one. So he got this big freaking thing of his wife. I'm not going to say what it is, because if I say who it is, everybody anybody listening to this station will know exactly who I'm talking about.
Okay.
And I was the second one to get caught, so I just got her name with like some whips or something like that. You know.
Your nickname is the Gorilla. Who started calling you that?
All right, when I started kickboxing at 8 years old, my kickboxing instructor, his name was Tyrone Green, out of Newark, New Jersey. That was his nickname. And I followed this guy around everywhere, would ask him questions about different punches, kicks, combinations, everything. And everybody just started calling me Baby Gorilla or BG. They're like, hey, BG. And then I stopped growing in the 8th grade. I've been 6'9" since the 8th grade. And they didn't call me BG anymore.
You've been 6'9"?
That's how that happened.
You've been 6'9" since the 8th grade?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I stopped growing in the 8th grade.
Wow. Just curious, because you are so tall, where do you buy your clothes?
Oh, man, you know what? Well, where I'm at here in Utah, bro, there is nowhere to freaking buy clothes my size. But my favorite store to go get clothes from is the Buckle. You know, like they sell, like, you know, Affliction and Rock Rebellion. I love the way their clothes fit me, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I go to Rock Rebellion I go to the Buckle store. They have one here in St. George, and whenever I'm in Vegas, I just go to the Fashion Show Mall and just hit them up, you know.
What size shoe do you wear?
17.
Whew. Do you have to duck every time you walk through a doorway?
About 9 out of every 10, yeah.
Everyone needs to drive a vehicle, even the very tall.
What kind of car do you drive?
I got a Chevy Suburban.
Well, that's good. At least you have a big car with a lot of leg room. It's not like you're driving around a Ford Festivia, because if you were driving that, you'd have your knees up in your chin because it's so small. And some of these cars would have to put you in the back seat so your legs could fit. So it's good that you have a big car.
Man, yeah. And yeah, I've always had trucks. I've always had trucks.
How much weight do you cut to make heavyweight?
Well, usually, I usually try to stay at 275. But like I said, this fight, I got this fight like out of the blue. So I was just training every day and eating whatever I want. So I started about 3 weeks ago. I was 315. Now I'm 275. And all that was from is just small portions, running, swimming, doing a ton of sparring, lifting after I'm done training, sitting in a sauna, just really, really getting after it. Because like I said, you know, like for a title fight, you know, nobody needs to be motivated for a title fight, you know.
How did we get here? Earlier you said that you started fighting at a young age. You started doing kickboxing when you were 8 years old. But then you went off in a different direction. You played college basketball. You were a double major in college. You went off and you played a little bit of pro basketball. But then you came back to fighting and you picked up MMA. And you've also been doing kickboxing. Now you're a pro fighter. Why did you decide to leave fighting and then come back to fighting years later? What brought you back to combat sports?
Tell you the truth, man, I freaking hated basketball. I hated basketball. I was like forced to freaking play. Like, I hated basketball, dude. My mom was like, oh, you need to play basketball. Right now you're in too many aggressive sports. Because at the time I was doing kickboxing, wrestling, football. She was like, you need to play basketball. I was like, basketball is soft. She was like, well, if you don't play, I'm going to take you out of all the other sports. So I started playing basketball, and I guess my mom kind of enjoyed me playing basketball. So she pulled me from all other sports, and basketball became like, you know, like a full-time, you know, thing. And plus, me growing up in a bad neighborhood in Newark, New Jersey, I seen a lot of my friends, you know, die, go to prison. Some of them are still in prison. And I was like, man, I gotta, you know, get this scholarship so I can get out of my bad neighborhood. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that place really molded me. It, you know, gave me a mindset where I'm like turn my shoulds into must, or how can I say? For instance, I remember when I went to my first NBA camp. They told me, they said, they asked us, they go, how do you guys approach life as far as something you want? And so we were just like, oh, I don't know, we just try our best and get it. We go after it hard. And the guy said, he goes, let me ask you this. He goes, let me ask you guys another question. He goes, if your child is in a burning building, are you going to try to save your child, or are you going to save your child? And we was like, shit, man, we're going to do whatever it takes to save our child, you know what I'm saying? We're going to save him. So that's how I approach life, It's not going to be, I'm going to try my best to win this belt. Like, no, I'm going to Europe to go get the belt and bring it back. I'm not going there to fight. I'm going there to get the belt and bring it back. Plain and simple. That's it.
Favorite food?
Oh, man, so many, dude. So many. Let's see, but my grandmother, if I'm at my grandmother's house, man, I would say fried chicken, baked macaroni and cheese. She makes like this really sweet cornbread and candy yams. If I'm in Vegas, they have this Brazilian barbecue place called Texas de Brazil. That place is amazing. And there's also a sushi spot up there called I Love Sushi. Crap. And I would probably say that's about it. That's about it. Yeah. But yeah, I love food though. I love food.
Favorite band and or solo artist?
Oh man, I would probably have to go with freaking New Edition, man. Like they were tight when I grew up.
Right.
Solo artist, it's a tie between Biggie Smalls and MC Hammer. So when I was a kid, I used to love dance like MC Hammer, but when I was growing up, I used to let away Biggie Smalls and rap, so I would say I would use them too.
Favorite TV show, and it can be a show currently on the air or a show no longer on the air, just overall favorite TV show.
It's a two-way tie, bro. It's a two-way tie, and I would say Archer and Spartacus.
If you could trade places with anyone in the world for a week, who would you trade places with, and why?
I've never thought about that. Who would I want to trade places with for a week? I would probably pick Shaquille O'Neal.
If you could stay one age forever, how old would you stay, and why?
Honestly, I would probably say the age that I'm at now, just because I feel like I finally got through like all the hardship in my life, and I feel like God has finally finished with his molding of me. Like I'm finally molded to the person he wants me to be, and I feel like I'm at like a all-time high physically and mentally, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like I feel like right now I'm like the finished project right now, So I'll probably say the age I'm at now, I'm 36.
Celebrity people say you look like?
Somebody told me Luke Cage before, like the Marvel's hero guy. Yeah. They told me Luke Cage. And it's funny when somebody told me that, they was like, did you look like Luke Cage? I was like, who is that? And then I went home. It was like, it's on Netflix. So I seen the dude. Mm-hmm. He has a bald head like me. We got the same like goatee. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I see what that. I can see how they would say that. But I mean, facial-wise, I don't think we look anything alike facial-wise. We just have bald heads and the same goatee. That's all. I've heard the NBA basketball player David Robinson. I've heard Shaq, and that's about it.
What's the best thing that ever happened to you?
Honestly, my kids by far. They are my everything, man. Like they freaking motivate me. They make me. They're the reason why I grind so hard and everything. And they are what. Man, it's funny. They are like way smarter than me, way prettier than me. They got like beautiful skin, long curly hair, just really smart, intelligent kids. And I don't know how they all have freaking six packs. I'm like, well, did that like skip a generation or something?
How many kids do you have, and what are their names, and what are their ages?
I have 6. I have 3 girls, 3 boys. My oldest daughter, Ayana, she's 18. I have a 6-year-old daughter named Chloe, and I have a year and a half old daughter Maya, and my 3 boys. They're Donovan, Cameron, and Malachi. They are 12, 13, and 14, and I think they're gonna be bigger than me, man. Like my Malachi, he's 13. He's 5'8", 5'9". Cameron is 12 and he's 6'5". Donovan is 14 and he's 6'4". But yeah, I think they're gonna be bigger than me, man.
How tall's their mom?
5'11".
Ooh, yeah. Those could be 7-footers.
I know, right?
I think you have a few semi-shilts in the making.
Oh, that'd be freaking amazing. Just teach how to throw jabs and push kicks all the time.
Yeah, teach them that push kick. They'll be fine. That's all they need. What's the worst thing that ever happened to you?
I would probably say my grandfather passing away. Well, growing up, him and my grandmother had played like a very influential role in raising me. And growing up, I was very, like every other kid, very, very hard-headed, stubborn, thought I knew everything, and I wish I would have spent more time with him, listened to him, and just learn, you know what I mean? But I would probably say that was like the worst thing that has ever happened to me losing my grandfather, because he loved me like how I love my kids. And my mom and grandma would just tell me stories about some of the things he would do for me when I was a baby, some of the things he would say about me when I wasn't around, and just I just know that he loves me the same way I love my kids. So I'd probably say that was like the worst thing that ever happened to me.
What's your pet peeve?
Alright, so it's three things. I hate seeing women with ugly feet. I don't know why. It just like really grosses me out when I see women with ugly feet. It like grosses me out. And I'm sorry, it's 4 things. I hate seeing people kiss. Every time I see people kiss, like I feel like I have to throw up, like that. Like seriously, I gotta like turn the other way. I'll start gagging. The other one is when people touch my face. I hate when people touch my face. Like I freaking hate it. And the other one is like when I call somebody and they don't pick up the phone. It makes me like flip out. Like I get so mad because I'm like, dude, every time you call me, I pick up the phone. I make you a top priority in my life. You can pick up the phone when I call. Even if you gotta pick up the phone and go, hey, dude, I'm super busy. Let me call you back. I'll be like, all right, cool. But those are like my 4 pet peeves. So ugly feet, people kissing in public, people touching my face, and when I call you, you don't pick up my phone call. That really upsets me.
Those are great. I knew when you started laughing at the beginning, I knew we were going to get some gold, so you delivered. Go-to song when you're singing in the shower.
Alright, so I don't sing in the shower all the time, you know what I'm saying, but song that plays in my head. You know that song by Bruno Mars, Candlelight, something like that? It just came out. It plays on the radio like all the time.
Champagne on us. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
The last verse when he hits that chorus, dude, that is my favorite part. I sing that part all the time. And people are looking at me like, man, you should just stick to fighting, dude. Man, I turn the radio up. I look around. I don't even care if there's other people in other cars watching me. I just be hitting the notes.
Yeah. That's great. Some people are afraid of spiders. Some people are afraid of heights. Some people are afraid of the dark. What are you afraid of?
You know, it's funny. Somebody asked me a question the other day, and the only thing I'm afraid of is failing, because I feel like if I fail in my life, like, okay, so this is how my life is set up, all right? Mm-hmm. So I pretty much take care of everybody in my life, you know, like my family and all that, and they all depend on me. So if I fail, there's no way I was going to take care of them. So I would just probably say failing is my biggest fear. So that's why, you know, I work so hard. And if I fail, I feel like I let down my kids. And you know what's crazy? when that Glory fight happened, when I got hit with the leg kick and the fight went on for a little bit, and we just sort of like went over to the corner, and I just like laid down. I had my hand over my head. The only thing, like I could honestly got back up. I was just, my heart was just broken, not like defeated, but just like broken, because I'm like, man, my kids are watching this fight, and I'm like their freaking superhero, and I freaking like let my kids down after the fight. I went in the back locker room, man, cried. All I can think about was my kids, because, you know, like I said, they're my everything, you know.
I'm still kind of shocked that you lost that fight, because I picked you to win that entire tournament. What went wrong for you that night?
So look, and like I kid you not, I was like super confident I was going to that tournament. I had an amazing training camp. I was in great shape, and 20 minutes before that fight, I was in a locker room sleep. I bought like a pillow and a blanket from the hotel. I was in a locker room sleep, and Shy wakes me up. Shy is like, it was just a curtain separating our locker room. He's like, "Hey, Big Mo, wake up! It's time for you to go whoop Disney's ass, right?" So I was like, woke up. I was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "All right, dog." So I got up, you know, started shadow boxing and all that. I was like ready to go, and when I got out there, it was awesome, because like I got out there and it was like a stadium full of people, and I walked around. My walkout music came on, but like fans start running up to like the side and start, you know, slapping the fans fives and stuff like that. It was amazing. So I was like, oh man, I was like, and I was in the ring in my corner. My best friend Dave, he's like massaging my shoulders and all that stuff. So I'm just, you know, just like, oh man, I can't believe this is finally about to happen. You know, I'm about to show the world what I could do. And I guess Xavier didn't like everything me and Shai said at the press conference about him, because he whooped both our ass that night. Most of all, you know what? I think, how can I say? I feel like God gives you stuff when you're ready for it. And I felt like at the time, God probably felt like, hey, you know, you're not ready for everything I have planned for you. So that's why things happen at night. And I feel like September 15th, man, he's just going to bless me with everything he has waiting for me. Well, it's going to be the start of everything he has waiting for me, you know. And I'm going to say this over the air. When I got there, the owner, right, we're like in a little like promo room or whatever, and he's talking to us about Rico Verhoeven. He was like, yeah, none of you guys are ready for Rico Verhoeven right now. So if anybody from Glory is listening, after I win this belt in BAMMA, please throw your boy Rico Verhoeven at me so I can eat his ass up. That would be amazing. I would love that fight. That would be an amazing fight.
Hey, it's possible. If Bigfoot Silva is getting that fight, and he has 0 kickboxing fights, I think it's possible that you get that fight. Yeah, it's Bigfoot Silva versus Rico Verhoeven. It's a non-title fight.
Get out of here.
No, it's true.
Dude?
It's true.
That's amazing. I'm happy for Bigfoot, and I feel very sad for Bigfoot, because don't get me wrong, Rico, I think he's a great kickboxer, but I don't think Bigfoot Silva has the foot speed, hand speed, or anything like that to deal with Rico. But yeah, I will make sure I watch that fight. That would be a very interesting fight.
Person you look up to the most?
My Uncle Robert. Like, so growing up in my neighborhood, man, like this guy, never seen this guy lose a fight. He had best dressed, prettiest girlfriends, was all-state in football, basketball, and baseball. He was like my freaking Roy Jones Jr. / Deion Sanders, man. My Uncle Robert, by far, he was the freaking man. Like, still to this day, he's the person who actually made me competitive, and he made me have the mentality that I would do anything to win, anything.
What do you worry about? What's something that keeps you up at night?
So, honestly, I would say few things. For one, not getting overwhelmed. Whenever I get overwhelmed, I tend to think about the future too far ahead. You know, I think about things a freaking year from now, a couple of months from now. Then I need to just take it, you know, like one day at a time, and I look at it like a math equation. As long as you do your best every day, it'll add up to what you want it to be. You know what I mean? thing that, worries me is, I know everything I want for myself and everything I want for my family. Just getting that, just making sure I'm where I need to be financially to get that. And I think that all starts with September 15th. Everything I want in my life starts with the night of September 15th. That's how I look at it, and I feel like everything I want in my life, everything I want for my family, starts the night of September 15th. I mean, of course, don't get me wrong. Let me rephrase that. It starts every day leading up to that fight, and what I do that night of September 15th will get me everything I want in my life. All the plans I have for myself, my family, and business plans will get me everything I want.
Time period you'd like to go back and visit, and why?
I would probably say before I would say my senior year of high school. My senior year of high school, I don't think I would have went to college. I think I would have enlisted myself in the military. I felt like I got nothing. I felt like, and this is no disrespect to anybody with a degree or is going to college, but I feel like I got nothing out of college. I felt like if I would have went to the military, things would have worked out a lot better.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
Okay, more hours in a day. Honestly, more hours in a day.
Last question, Maurice, and I really appreciate you being so generous with your time. I know this has been a very long interview. Last one right here.
Honestly, enjoy. This is actually the first interview I've ever enjoyed, because they usually ask me stupid questions, but this is a really fun interview. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hey,
that's the goal. That's the goal. It's really random. It's what we do here. A little bit of fighting, a little bit of fun, a whole lot of nonsense. That's the whole point. We have to be different from everybody else. So, let's say you're on death row and about to be executed. What would your last meal be? And I need an entree, a dessert, and a beverage. What would your last meal be?
My last meal would be, oh man. Okay. It would have to be, they would have to have my grandmother come cook for me, man. For real, dude. My grandmother's the truth of the kitchen. I would probably say her, what I said earlier, pretty much, her fried chicken, baked macaroni and cheese, her sweet cornbread, and her candy yams with marshmallows all over them. That would be that right there. Oh man, hey, you know what? For Thanksgiving, bro, she makes this Kool-Aid, and she mixes it with pineapple juice. It is amazing. She mixes it together. It's like fruit punch Kool-Aid, lemon Kool-Aid, and she mixes together pineapple juice in it. It's so good.
It sounds amazing. Maurice, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you want to say to the fans?
Oh man, definitely. I would like to thank Twisted Noodle Cafe here in St. George, Utah. They're in charge of my meal prep and all that. And as far as that go, I'm actually right now looking for more sponsors. So if anybody's interested in sponsoring me, you can email me at Maurice11249@gmail.com. And what I want to say to the fans, man, thank you guys for everything, for you guys cheering for me, for you guys booing for me, for you guys speaking positive about me, negative about me. All it does is make me work harder, and the more noise you guys make for me, the louder you guys cheer or boo, it's just going to make me fight harder. But I just want to tell you guys, whether you guys are being negative or positive towards me, I just want to say thank you, because it seriously drives me to be the best fighter I can be, and it gets my adrenaline going through the roof. So I just want and this past year has been a very, very hard year for me, man. I didn't know whether I wanted to continue fighting or just quit. But and I've gotten a lot. There's been a lot of people in my life that how can I say, after that glory fight, before that glory fight, I had a ton of friends. After that fight, everybody showed their true colors. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say to everybody, man, if you're in a rough patch in your life, if things are really hard for you, one thing you need to know is that hard times don't last forever, and strong people do, and it's just it's God's way of molding you to get you ready for all the blessings he has for you, and he's weeding all the people out of your life that don't deserve to be a part of your life when you get your blessing. But that's about it. I just wanted to share that with everybody,
Maurice, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck September 15th at BAMMA 31 against Chai Lewis Perry.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.